call this meeting in order at this time, and the first thing is opening prayer be given by Mike Gilpatrick, and the pledge of allegiance be given by Mike Sullivan.
Let us pray. Most loving Father, we give you thanks for the many blessings that you send our way each day. Father, we ask you to be with those who are sick and grieving and those who need your comfort and care. Father, we also ask you to be with our troops, with our police forces and all emergency service personnel, for it's they who keep us safe and free. Father, we ask most importantly that you be with each of us tonight, that we may make the best decisions for the students, our most precious resources, as we go about the business of the board. We ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, I'd like to say I'm filling in for Mr. Miller tonight. He's been under the weather, but he's home today and he's doing better. Just need to remember me in our prayers this week. This time, need approval of the minutes for the January 14, 2020 meeting. Need a motion. Motion by Mike Sullivan, second by Mike Hayes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, any additions or deletions to the proposed agenda?
I'd like to add the approval for a scoreboard for soccer field.
Approval for the soccer field. That will be number, any business. Or is it on there, ain't it?
No, it's not.
Be the 4th. So I need a motion to add that. Okay.
Second.
Second by Mike Gilpatrick. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the February 2018-2020 meeting agenda. Need a motion by Mike Gilpatrick, second by Mike Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Executive action items. Allen's Elementary School requesting permission to take honor roll and perfect attendance students to Dollywood on May the 4th of 2020. Allen's Elementary requesting permission to take 8th grade class to Santa Claus, Indiana to attend Holiday World Theme Park on May the 20th of 2020. Livingston Academy Bible class field trip to the Creation Museum and Ark Encounter May the 6th and 7th of 2020. Approval on bus bid for 4 78 passenger buses from Central States at $86,974 each, totaling $347,896. We don't need no motion on that, do we? Awesome.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Hey, that bus bid, is that part of that grant that?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, and what we'll have to do is we'll pay that total of those 4, and then we'll get reimbursed for those 2.
Okay.
And we'll have us a bus sale sometime during the summer. All right, consent agenda items. Number 1, approve of general purpose school budgets amendment 2. And you've got your attachment in your, in our folder. We need a motion to approve that. I'll do them all together?
Yes.
Okay. And number 2, approve of quarter reports, and that was also in there. And number 3, IDEA Part B revision. Number 2, 2019-2020 Carl Perkins Basic Revision 1. 2019-2020 Title 1A revision, number 2. And 11, well, we just need to do them. Need to get that other correct. Need a motion on them.
I will.
Motion by Jarman Hicks.
I'll second.
Second by William Abston. Any discussion? Let's see. Do we need a roll call on that? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 6, letter of resignation from Teresa Barlow.
It's in there, it's in your packet. Can't read it, can't see it, the way I could read it.
Let me get down to it.
It came as an email, on January, 23rd.
Okay, I understand. All right, let's go on to the next, a letter of resignation from Melissa Kaufman.
Dear Dr. Winningham, I am writing to inform you that I am resigning from my position as educational assistant at Rickman Elementary School effective February 4th, 2020. I am resigning my position because I am going back to school to further my education. Dr. Holman and I have already discussed this. Thank you for the opportunity to work at Rickman Elementary School. I've enjoyed working with the students and will miss them very much. Sincerely, Melissa Kaufman.
All right. We need to make a motion on them. Let's make a motion on that. Dolphus Dahl makes a motion. Second by Dr. Diane Sadler. Any discussion on them? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. I'd like to thank them for their service. Now we'll move on to new business items. Approval of Livingston Academy baseball team installing a new scoreboard. That was on it.
That's the soccer, yes.
Oh, this is soccer, okay.
No, this is baseball, yeah.
Okay, I know the baseball, I thought was on there, so, okay. Approval of Livingston County baseball team installing a new scoreboard. Motion by Mike Hayes, second by Mike Gilpatrick. Any discussion?
Yes, I've got some. I spoke with the Booster Club, about this. If we would allow, where that scoreboard is our property, if we would allow them, the company they are purchasing from will give them a $5,000 credit as a trade-in for their old, if we'll allow it. And if not, it'll just be taken down, set over there, and we can do whatever we want to with it, but, if that's something we're willing to do, I'd like to be able to do that for them. I mean, it's gonna be on our property and be ours, we're just paying for it, so.
And that just goes through the booster club, right?
That's correct. If that's suitable with everyone.
Everybody okay with that? If not, speak up. I think it's a good deal. So let's go ahead and,
Yeah, just call for the vote. You don't have to do roll call, we're not spending any money.
all right, all in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? All right, let them have it. Academic updates from the Overton County Board of Education Supervisors.
That's you.
Come on.
Okay, Dr. Winningham asked, Mr. Copeland and I, just to give you a brief, and I promise I'll be brief, update kinda on where we stand with the data that we use throughout the year to kinda help us predict how we're gonna do on the state assessments. So, the part that I have a lot to do with is the common assessment data. That is a test that we do our best to create. The academic coaches, we bring the teachers in, the teachers have input, the teachers help write the questions, and everyone gives the same test. We do this, we did this last one, second grade through high school. And so we created these tests, and we do our best to use the material that the state gives us. They give us practice exams, and we pull the questions from those. And the goal is that the students see items at least 3 times throughout the year that they're gonna see on the state assessment at the end of the year. So we do this 3 times per year, fall, winter, spring, grades 3 through 12. We did go down to second grade because they did have an assessment this last time. Teachers have access to student scores in real time. We have a technology platform called Schoology, and the test is actually administered online to the students except for second grade. They do paper pencil. And the teachers have immediate access. They can look at it by student, they can look at it by standard, and it will tell them immediately what they need to work on, what's already been mastered to help them plan future instructions, review for the test coming up. Something we do with the help of Brent Thrasher, our IT guy, he created like a template, and we can take the test and copy it and put it into that template, and I'll show you in just a minute, and it will do a breakdown by class, by school, and by district, and it will show you exactly the number of students getting that question correct. and that's very valuable for the teachers, use that to even plan instruction moving forward. And then we can do district data, it's updated after each assessment, fall, winter, and spring. Scores are tracked, so we can see where we are in October, where we are in January, and hopefully where we are in March, right before we give the assessment. So we know what students are not where we need them to be, so if they need extra help, they need after school, they need tutoring, then we can do that based off these assessments. This is a sample of what the teachers get, and you have a packet kind of, and you can see this. This is the item analysis that Mr. Thrasher created. It tells you across the top the number of students in each grade level. You can see all the different schools. And then to the far right, you have the standard. So the teacher can see question 1, she knows what that standard was, and she knows that 12 of her 58 students, or we can break it down by classroom, but that would be for the whole grade level, that 12 of those students got that correct. Then you kind of can compare across schools, and then you can see what the total district did. So this is, yes,
Yeah, this is real data, right?
real data, yes. I just didn't put any names
Yeah,
or.
that's okay.
Yes. Okay, then, this is an example of what the teacher can see automatically in their classroom. Remember, this is a technology-based program. Students take it on their Chromebooks. As they're taking it, there would be a student name, which of course we left off right there to the side. You can read across to see, if you look at that top line, they mastered 3 of the standards. But we're concerned about the red part there, and I know you don't have a color part. Again, teachers are able to just hover over those standards. It tells them exactly what they're looking at, and they can know by child, while they're taking the test, who needs extra help. And then this is our actual data up to this moment. It's a little hard to, this is report card data. You know, our school district is given a grade, it'll be a letter grade this year, A through F, and it's based on ELA and math. And they are grouped 3rd through 5th grade, 6th through 8th grade, and then the high school. And what we do is that they set a goal based on how we did last year. You can see here the AMO target. This is where we want to get this year based on last year's scores. And generally, they want us to move up about 4% to 5% based on where we were last year. They just want a continuous movement of progression. So that would be the target number of students. And the reason that number is so high, that's all 3rd through 5th graders. And that's every ELA test and every math test. So in 3rd through 5th grade, we're gonna give 1,334 reading and math tests. We wanna get 41%, so we'll need 547 of those to be proficient. This was our first common assessment, and this was our second one. We had 255 on track. So, in January, and keep in mind, I know this number looks kind of small, we're at 21.9% proficiency there, but keep in mind, we are giving a practice exam that is comprehensive and looks just like the 10 ready exam. It's a very hard exam. And we do not require students that miss to make it up. We've had a lot of sickness, we've had a lot of teachers out. So truthfully, if you look at this 21.9%, and we wanna get to 41%, we're right on track mid-year. We're exactly almost halfway. If we continue to make the progress that we're making, we should progress to our goal. And traditionally, the second assessment, I know Tim's probably gonna say this too, tends to go down because when we give the first common assessment or the first benchmark assessment, a lot of that is review from the prior year. And when we get to this second one, this is completely new knowledge for that grade level. So for that to go down is not alarming. But just keep in mind that we still have one more assessment to build toward our target goal.
Ms. Jones, so in lay terms, that's the end of the year test.
End of the year assessment.
In the middle of the year.
Correct, we are given that end of the year test, just so that those kids have that practice of the rigor and how hard that is, and even how to fill in and bubble. That's one reason we decided to practice with our second grade, to make sure we knew how to bubble. So yes, we want to track our progress 3 times throughout the year so that we can plan how to teach those kids and prepare those kids for that end of the year assessment. So I know that number looks low, but it's not alarming. All right. you're up. You gotta click.
Laura's reviewed common assessment, and I'm going to go over our aim book testing, which as a reminder is our universal screener that we're required to do, K through 12 across the state. We use Ames Web, and it is a universal screener, which is just a very basic test that measures basic reading skills, reading fluency, reading comprehension, math calculation, math problem solving, and written expression. We do this 3 times a year to determine the need for skill-specific interventions, remediation, reteaching, and enrichment. Teachers and administrators have immediate access to student scores. It's a very strong platform. You can review down to every question the child missed, how it aligns with standards, lots of information. What I'm reviewing with you tonight will be the composite scores for the district as compared to the national norms. For example, and you have this in your packet, this would be our kindergarten scores in early literacy and early math. Or the solid line, the dotted line would be the national norms. You can see where we started in the fall, where we're at now in the wintertime. So we're definitely trending up, and we're getting closer to that national norm with our early literacy skills. Our early math skills in kindergarten, you can see we're right at the national norm with our math skills in kindergarten. And I'll progress through these to our different grade levels. Just remember, I'm comparing us to the national median score. Here's our first grade scores. You can see in the fall where we were at, we gained quite a few points at our winter testing. In our early literacy, our math, once again, is right there with the national norms. Second grade, huge jump from fall to winter with our reading scores. Our math scores, to begin, we're right at the national norms. We're now exceeding the national norms with our second grade math. Our third grade reading, you can see we started in the fall, a little bit below national. We're now trending above the national norms in our third grade reading. Our math started right at the national norms. We're now trending several points above. Fourth grade, once again, we're trending above. Started a little bit below in the fall. By the winter time, we're trending above the national median score. Our math in fourth grade started above to begin with, and we're still trending up. Fifth grade, we started the year above the national norm in reading, and we're still trending in that direction. Also in math in fifth grade. Sixth grade, same story. I mean, we started way above. We're still trending above in both reading and math. Seventh grade, reading, we started above the national norms. We're still above the national norms in reading and math with our seventh grade. Eighth grade, once again, you can see where we started in the fall, still trending up and still above our national median scores. So we're definitely trending in the right direction. And as Ms. Jones said, generally our winter benchmark, we are a little bit lower, but we're still scoring fairly well as a whole. So I'm thinking in the spring, hopefully that's just gonna keep trending up. So it looks good. And remember, these are our skills. Like I said, but this is a composite of all those basic reading skills and all those basic math skills combined. And we utilize this information for our RTI program. And this helps us place students, you know, if they need the intervention or if they need enrichment or if they just need a little reteaching. We look at those skills and see what exactly the child needs.
When you look at them with the teachers?
We have
Grade level?
We have grade level meetings, we have district level meetings. Each teacher has a report on each child. And it's really good information, really powerful information.
Are the reports generated from you or from the principal?
From the school. And then of course, our children that are in intervention, we keep track weekly or bi-weekly of their progress. So we know at any given time, is the intervention working or not working? Or is there a specific skill they need somebody teaching on? Any questions? Like it's not your board.
I have another question, Tim.
Okay.
The items that are on this test, which are basic items or basic skills or response to intervention, those are not, items that they would encounter on, like, the state test, 10 ready.
They're the skills that get you prepared for those standards.
Right.
If you have the skill, you should be able to access the standard, so.
Right.
I probably should have said that when I introduced it. Two totally different things. My common assessment is doing just standards on what the grade level standards that the teachers have taught up to that point. And he's doing skills, to use like a basketball analogy, his test is teaching whether you can dribble with your right hand, dribble with your left hand, shoot or lay up. My test is, can you run the offense throughout the game leading up to, can you get a scouting report? So mine is almost an end of the year, and his is strictly just a skill. Can you read, identify the letters?
Anybody got any questions for him?
I'd just like to commend y'all for taking the time and working with Brent and creating that and being proactive on it instead of, just waiting.
I appreciate what you do. Anybody else? All right, we'll move on to approve the first reading of policy 3.204, threat assessment team, 3.405, commercial advertising in school buses, 4.302, field trip, excursion and competitions, 4.606, graduation activity. Need a motion on this to approve it?
I make a motion.
Motion by Dr. Diane Sadler, second by Mike Gilpatrick. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the thing is to approve the putting up the soccer scoreboard. I'll need a motion on that. Motion by Mike Sullivan, second by Jarman Hicks. Any discussion?
I believe the same company that's installing the baseball is the same company that's got the bid on this. I believe that's.
And that's through the Booster Club too?
Yes, they're both
Booster
based through the
Club's
Booster
paying for
Club.
this one also.
That's great. That's great. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Over on the next seat, special recognition OCEA, Ms. Allen.
Mayor, I just wanted to share with y'all the sad passing of our youth service coordinator. On January the 29th, Josh Trent passed away very suddenly and untimely, and he will be sorely missed. He had a great passion for the schools and for the teachers and for the students, and worked with our county a lot. And TEA will still take care of us. We're still under TEA's coverage, but we have lost a very wonderful resource. I just wanted to share that with y'all in case you hadn't heard.
Josh will be dearly missed. All right, I guess we're ready for the director's report.
Hired Dolores Carr for the central office payroll position. And then we have several fundraiser reports from Hayes, Roberts, Livingston County, Richmond, and Wilson.
All right. Well, that wraps her up on our regular meeting agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Dolphus Dial, second by Mike Hayes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Everybody ready to go into work session? You want to break?